Hi, my name is Ethan Wirt. I will be making chicken fajita wraps and a Southwest ranch sauce. For the chicken fajita wraps, we will be using chicken tenderloin, mushrooms, green peppers, red peppers, onions, garlic salt, garlic powder, avocado oil, Himalayan pink salt, and rosemary. For our Southwest ranch sauce, we will be using cumin, ground black pepper, hot Mexican style chili powder, smoked paprika, onion powder, chipotle chili pepper, ancho chili pepper, cayenne pepper, garlic salt, and garlic powder, along with ranch dressing. Alright, I'm going to start with cooking our veggies, but first I'm going to wash my hands since we're prepping food. I'm going to start with the green pepper. I'm just going to try to rinse it off real good, make sure it's pretty green overall. We're going to take a paper towel, just gently dry the pepper off. Don't try to apply too much pressure to it. Should be good. Alright, we're going to begin with our clean knife. Cutting the pepper, we're just going to go straight down the middle here. Alright, now we're going to try our best to try to get this white core out. Just lay all our trash over here in this one corner. At some point you can just start using your fingers and prying some of this white stuff out. The whole point of this is to just make sure that keep all the seeds from being in it. It's okay if there's a couple, they'll gradually come out. Then at this point, you'll want to start just cutting some strips. If your strips are too long or a little bit too thick, just cut them in half. But try not to cut them too small so they don't burn up when we take them to the skillet. We will be keeping this half for later since we're not going to be using it. We're just going to Ziploc that. And quickly put it in the fridge. And then you're just going to try to divide everything. All our trash is going in this bowl. Want to have a clean slate, and then you're just gonna kind of want to even these all to where they're all kind of sitting next to each other. Best way to explain it's kind of like a ladder. Some of these smaller pieces we're not going to need to do this to. Just cut a few of them on their side, just directly through the middle. Alright. Then we're just going to take our little bowl over here. Just scrape everything into it. Just gonna scrap this little piece over here real quick. We're gonna rinse off our knife. And we're gonna rinse off our red pepper. Again, same thing. You just want to make sure you don't see any discoloration or anything on it. Dry it off again. Alright. Again, you're just going to go right down the middle. Then we're gonna put this extra red pepper in the fridge just like we did for the green one. Break all of our junk into this. And before we put the red pepper in the bowl with the green pepper, we're just gonna try our best to evenly cut these down the middle. Just like that. And just scrape it into the bowl with the other pepper. We're gonna rinse our knife off again. Alright, now we're gonna move on to the onion. Start by cutting the little knobs off. So, and as soon as you get the little knobs off, you can just start to peel it away. Then you're just going to want to cut this thing in half, straight down the middle. We're just going to do our best to cut this up into little quadrants. Before we move any farther, we're gonna put this little onion in the fridge. Alright. And then all you gotta do from this point is just separate these little strands. And just same as before. So roll that in there. Grab that one. In its own little respective bowl. Move the onions down in there. Again, rinse the onion off, or not the onion off, the knife off. Then we're going to work on the mushroom bag. We're going to pull out a mushroom, we're going to take it over here. Try your best to rinse it off, try to get any of the dark brown spots if you can. It doesn't have to be spotless, because if it's not spotless, sometimes it usually just means it's browning a little bit. Like there. Just try your best to get some of it off. not going to dry it off just because paper towels start sticking to it after too long. Okay, now we're just going to smoothly cut this down, just little piece by piece. Try to make it kind of thick just so it doesn't do what the onion would do and burn up on the skillet. Like this piece is probably a little bit too small. Then once you get to a certain length, it's okay to just go down here and just start cutting vertically. Man. Then just do the same thing as you would for everything else. Move what you don't need in the trash. Then move all your mushrooms into here. Like so. Right. Now we'll move on to the Southwest Ranch dressing. Alright, so this is how we make our Southwest Ranch sauce. I got the ranch, measuring cup with a spout here. I got a note card because there's so many spices in this recipe, I can usually keep track of it. We got our measuring spoons here. We're going to start with opening the ranch bottle. I'm going to pour the entire bottle of ranch into this measuring cup. Alright, so we're going to start with our first ingredient. We're going to have a tablespoon of cumin. Alright, we're going to unscrew this just to make sure it comes out. It's not cooperating. Okay, just dump it in there. We're going to stir this all in there once we get everything in there. Alright, next on there is a teaspoon of ground black pepper. Alright, then next is a teaspoon of hot Mexican style chili powder. One teaspoon of smoked paprika. Now we're going to move on to a half teaspoon of onion powder. Now we're going to move on to a fourth a teaspoon of chipotle chili pepper. Alright, then another fourth teaspoon of ancho chili pepper. Alright, now a fourth teaspoon of garlic salt. Now we're going to a fourth teaspoon of garlic powder. And 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now just a reminder that these are all base amounts. These can honestly vary. Just to cheat matters on what type of taste you want to achieve with your Southwest Ranch. Now all we gotta do is just stir this together. I'm gonna stir this up with a spoon instead since I don't see a spatula near me. Just keep stirring it. should be good. Gonna get a little fresh spoon and tastes pretty good. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna take this out. Throw that away. And now we are going to pour it back into the bottle very gently. We're just gonna use this bowl to catch anything. Then after that, feel free to get a paper towel and wipe up any extra you may have inside of the bottle. Put your cap back on. Just one more. Then just shake it up real good. Alright, then that'll be your Southwest Ranch, and you just put it back in the refrigerator. And the expiration date should be the same as your standard ranch dressing. Alright, we're going to start with cooking the chicken. We're going to put our right front burner over here on medium-high heat. Ours is about 6.5. First, we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. It's just a benchmark, doesn't have to be super exact. Gonna brush it around a little bit, make sure it's nice and even around the pan. Keeping it in this little bowl over here. Alright, now we're gonna open our chicken. Touched raw chicken. I'm going to wash my hands real quick over here. Alright. Now we're going to move on to our spices. We're going to start with a teaspoon of rosemary. Alright, now 1/4 tablespoon, or yeah, 1/4 tablespoon of garlic powder. Now 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt. Now we're just going to let our chicken cook here. I'm just going to be bending to it every couple of minutes. Making sure it gets nice and evenly cooked. Alright, 165. Move it over to the cold, let it cool off a little bit. Turn the burner off. Alright, we're gonna just one by one. Take a piece, cut it in semi-large chunks. Right, and then just dump it back in. Move on to the next one. Since that looks like we got all of it, we're going to just move it on this back burner over here. We're just going to put it on low. Alright, now that we've cooked our chicken, we're going to go ahead and cook the veggies and put everything together. We're going to take our skillet, put it on this right front burner, set it to high heat. We're going to take our oil. This is just a rough estimate. Just take a tablespoon, I'd say, and just put it on there. And just hurry up and brush it around before it starts smoking and heating up. Now I'm going to go over here. Since we were dealing with raw chicken earlier, we are going to clean this spatula real quick. Just kind of wait for this to heat up and start to smoke a little bit. Alright, now that it's starting to smoke a little bit, we're going to toss a tortilla on there. Give it about 15 seconds. Flip it over, count for another 15. Alright. Now we're going to add our veggies. Douse it in about a tablespoon or so of olive oil. kind of careful with splatter when you do this. Should be good. Now you want to scrape around and do this for about 2 minutes. Exactly 2 minutes before adding the chicken. Alright, we're going to go ahead and add the chicken. Alright. Now the best way to gauge this after you add the chicken is to wait for one of the mushrooms to be a nice golden brown. Should be good. Now, we're actually going to move the plate over here. And you want to be really careful when you do this. Alright. Then just after that, if you want to take a fork, just kind of centralize everything in the middle, so wrapping's easier. Then, as our final component, take a little bit of the Southwest Ranch. Just add a desired amount. Alright, there you have it. Chicken fajita wrap with Southwest Ranch dressing.